What is up, everybody? It is Ace with another regional bracket prediction. Today, we're going to be doing Europe, which I haven't done before. My last video, I did NA, and it went pretty well for the predictions. So, we're going to go ahead and predict Europe. So, let's just get right into it. Moist Esports versus, I don't want to butcher the name, Ioguri. I'm going to say Moist, clean sweeps them. Moist probably takes that in three. Um, I don't think we don't have to, really talk about that much. Vitality versus Solary. So Solary kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody expected them to get top four last regional, and they did. And they looked good in the closed qual. And I'm pretty sure they got first in the closed qualifier. And now they're playing Vitality. So Solary kind of has the hot hand here. But, I'm actually going to give it to Vitality. Just because Vitality is a very good team. They're back, and I think that Solary is. I guess this would technically be a little bit of an upset, but I think Vitality would come through with this. And Solary, they're not a bad team by any means, but Vitality is just a very good team, and I think Vitality could take that one. EG versus Liquid. I'm 99% sure that we saw this last regional. And I love them Liquid boys, man. Oski, Atau, and Achronic. They're a very, very good team, and they're very young, so they have a bright future. But I think I'm going to give it to EG. EG had a pretty bad performance last regional, and, they're going to bounce back. I think they have to bounce back, really. This is a make or break game for them. They don't want to drop to lowers again right off the bat and just, get another bad performance. It'd be very bad for them. So I think EG will take that in 5. Dignitas versus 00 Nation. I know Dignitas hasn't been looking like, the Dignitas that we know. But I think Dignitas will take that in 4. 00 Nation, they're iffy. And I don't think they could beat Dignitas. BDS versus Natus Vincere. I got to give that to BDS. Clean sweep. We saw them last regional. They looked literally like the best team in the world. They probably look better than G2, honestly. It's insane how good they looked with Seiko, and Seiko's just one of, if not the best player in the world right now. So definitely have to show respect to BDS. Luminosity versus Semper. Semper, surprisingly, to me at least, looked very good last regional. I didn't think Casio would be as good as he was, but he was actually pretty good, and Exotic is a very good player. But again, I like Luminosity. I like Ixo. I'm going to say Luminosity takes that in 4. I think Luminosity is a pretty underrated team, and I think that they could get that one done there. Endpoint versus Guild. I'm glad to see Guild back in the main event because I love CRR. He's one of my favorite players. Definitely probably the second most underrated player in all of Europe, right behind Cash. And so I'm just happy to see him back, but I got to give it an endpoint here. Guild, as a team, haven't really been looking too good recently. They didn't make regional 1, and they barely made this regional. I think they got like 7th to 8th or 6th. Dorito, he still has to mesh with this team, and I don't know if Devo's the guy that Guild wants. I think CRR, you want to build around CRR. He's young and he has a very bright future, and Devo just doesn't really fit that scheme of, building towards the future. So I think Devo could be on his way out of Guilds pretty soon. But to me, it just doesn't work out as a scheme. Carmine versus Misfits. This is a pretty good series. I really like Misfits. I like Cash a lot. I like Arju. And Carmine is a really good team, Itachi, Astral, and they're just a good team, but I'm going to have to give this to Misfits in 5. It really just depends on what Misfits we're getting, because Misfits is kind of like the Europe version of Rogue, where they're just so inconsistent. And, they could be really good, they could be a top 5 team easily, but then they could just, shit the bed and get 9th or 12th. So we really don't know what Misfits we're going to get. That's why I put it to game 5, just for some insurance. But I think Misfits will take that. Moist versus Vitality. Got to give it to Moist here. I'll say they beat them in 4. Moist has just been looking very good. They've been looking unstoppable unless your name is BDS. But, they've been looking very good. Respect. Got to show respect to Moist. EG versus Dig. This is a very good series. Obviously, we saw what happened in the winter major. What was it? Like a reset sweep. I forgot. I'm blanking on the name right now. But Dig was up 2-0, and then EG won 3 in a row. And killed Dignitas's dreams of playing in front of a crowd. So I guess Dig has a little bit of vengeance that they're searching for, and I think Dig will take this. I think Dig will play in another tight game. EG goes to 2 best-of-5s in a row, ends up losing this one. I think Dignitas will take that one. BDS versus Luminosity. We cannot escape this series. This series happens every regional. But I'm going to have to give that to BDS. I'll say Luminosity takes a game. And that's probably being a little bit generous. Just because BDS is just a monster. BDS is... They're insane, man. It's crazy. Endpoint versus Misfits. And although I do want to give this game the Misfits, I think Endpoint will take this in 5. Actually, yeah, Endpoint will take that in 5. I think Misfits, they're a great team. But they're just a little bit too inconsistent for me. And I think Archie, he'll be better. He already got a regional under his belt with this new team, and I think he'll be even better. And Archie's a very good player, obviously. We all know that. So I gotta trust Archie here. Solary versus Iogiri. I'll give that to Solary. Solary's a great team, and they showed that last regional, and I think they'll continue it. They got first in the closed qualifiers, so they're already looking good. They already have momentum. Liquid versus 00 Nation. I'll give that to Liquid in 4. I just think 00 Nation, they don't have all the firepower as much as Liquid does, and Liquid showed last regional that they're a very good team, and I think Liquid will take that in 4. Semper versus Natus. I think Semper sweeps that. I like Virtuoso. But Semper just looked very, very clean. They played a very clean game last regional. And Exotic is looking very good. And I'm happy for Exotic. Very good player. Guild versus Carmine. This is kind of a tricky series because it could go either way. But I think Carmine will take that in 4. I think CRR will do his thing per usual. But like I said before, the whole scheme of Devo, and their new man Doritos just isn't working out yet, and I don't know if it ever will. So I'll give that to Carmine in 4. Staying in the lower bracket here, lower round 2, Misfits versus Solary. I do want to give this to Misfits, but just being realistic, I think Solary will take that in 4. Actually, I think Solary sweeps that. Misfits, they kind of, when they lose, they start to spiral down a little bit. So I think Solary will sweep them. Misfits will probably be a little bit tilted, losing the game 5 to Endpoint. And I think Solary will take that. Luminosity versus Team Liquid. This should be a pretty fun series. I'm going to have to give that to Liquid in 5. I think Liquid would pull that out. Atal and Oski, just very good duo. And Chronic is a great player. And Luminosity is a very good team too, but I just think Liquid is just a little bit better. EG versus Semper. I think EG takes that in 4. Semper, I don't think Semper can really stand up to EG, and their defense and Catalysm is just really, really good all-around player. He's great at everything. And, he really is a huge leader for that team, and I think they can definitely beat Semper. And Vitality versus K-Corp. I think Vitality sweeps that one. Vitality is a very good team. I mean, the only reason they're here is because they play Moist in the second round of uppers. So not discrediting Vitality at all for being in the lowers. They just get a hard matchup there. So going back to Moist versus Dig, this is always a fun series between the two, but the team that usually wins is Moist. So let's give that to Moist. I'll say they win it in 6 games. That's solid right there. BDS versus Endpoint. I don't even think that'll be close. I think BDS takes that in 5. BDS is just a great all-around team, and they're very consistent, and consistency is key in a game like Rocket League. Solary versus Liquid. This would be a very fun series to watch. I think Solar takes that in 4. They're just a very consistent team. Liquid has a very high ceiling, but I think they still need just a little bit more time. Next split, I think they'll be even better. Maybe they'll make the major next split, but for now, they're just meshing with each other, building with each other, growing with each other, and I think Solar will definitely take that. EG versus Vitality. This would be also a very good series. I think I'd give that to Vitality in 5. I feel like Vitality has the ice. K-Dop's been there, done that. Radisson looked very good on this team. Very, very good as expected. And, Alpha 54 is Alpha 54. He's going to do his thing. You know that. So I think Vitality will take that in 5. Respect to EG. Dig versus Solary. Dig will get a little bit of a chance at revenge from last regional. I think Dig takes that in 7. Dignitas, they very badly need to, start doing well if they want to make it to London. Last split, they keep having these, performances that are very embarrassing for having one of the best rosters in the whole world. Scrub Killa, Jorius, and Appjack. It's crazy how good they are and just how bad they perform sometimes. So I definitely think that they'll kick it back into gear here and realize what's at stake, and I think they'll get the win, big win over Solary. Endpoint versus Vitality. I think Vitality takes that in 6. Endpoint still meshing with Archie. Vitality's meshing with Radisson, but Vitality looked way better than Endpoint did last regional, and I don't see that changing anytime soon, so I'm going to go ahead and give that to Vitality. BDS versus Moist. I got to give that to BDS. I'll say BDS takes that in 5. BDS is just unstoppable. I don't see a team that's gonna. I won't pick against BDS until somebody proves it to me. They're such a good team. It's insane. Dig versus Vitality. Good old days, good old matchup of good times. I'm gonna go ahead and give that to Dignitas. I'll say they win that one in 5. Dignitas. By my predictions, I think that they're back. They need to start kicking things into gear if they want to make it to London. So they gotta bring out all the fire, and I think they'll take out Vitality there. Moist versus Dignitas. Dignitas gets their chance at a revenge here for all the times that Moist/Queso have beaten them, and I think they will get their revenge here. Actually, I'll say it goes to Game 7, and I think Dignitas will win. When you lose this upper final, you usually lose this lower final. I think it's 70% of the time. When you lose the upper final, you lose the lower final. And I feel like that's just a perfect situation for Dignitas to actually beat Moist finally. Just because, Moist, their mindset would be a little bit down. And I think Dignitas can take advantage of that because they have the experience for sure. And BDS versus Dig. Like I said before, I don't see a team beating BDS. I won't pick against BDS until I see it. They're kind of like G2 right now. They're unstoppable. They're winning regionals. And Seiko. It's just crazy how you can have Monkey Moon, Extra, and Seiko on one team. And it's literally a dream team. So, that's my bracket. We got BDS coming in first once again. Dignitas coming in second. Moist coming in third. Vitality in fourth. Endpoint and Solary 5th through 6th. Evil Geniuses, Liquid 7th through 8th. Then we have the rest. So I guess the main storylines for my bracket would be BDS repeats. Dignitas kicks it back into gear, proves who they really are. And that's top 3 team in Europe. Vitality shows out well. EG's still in a bit of a slump. Misfits disappoint. And yeah. That's really the main storylines from my bracket. So based on this bracket, the split so far would have BDS first, Moist in second, Solary in third, Vitality in fourth, and Dig in fifth. So Dig would make a huge comeback from only having 130, and yeah, Liquid would be pretty far behind. So this would be a solid top five, and it makes sense. It's very reasonable. It's not like saying any of these teams placing this high or this low is unreasonable. I think the matchups will play that way, and yeah, I think we'll see BDS repeat. So if you like the predictions, go ahead, leave a if you like these videos in specific, go ahead, leave a like for me, subscribe. Go ahead, tell your friends, show your friends, go make a bracket yourself. And if you think any of my picks are crazy, or any of my picks you disagree with, or any of my picks you agree with, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your opinions. Love to hear your guys' opinions. And for now, I'll be signing out. Everybody have a good one. Peace.